Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back, it's Jordan here. So today we're going to be working on my Lego display rooms. I feel like it's been a good while since I've spent some time in here. Cleaning things up, placing some new sets, building some new displays, and just like hanging out with all of these awesome Lego sets. And I'm just trying to think of what we can do in these shelving rooms. I've got some of the new sets that need to be placed, like the new Marvel ones. I built those and they've just been hanging out. Plus I think I've got like the Jaws set, and I've got a pretty big backlog that I need to build right now too, so I need to start working on that stuff and start placing them here in the shelving rooms. Yeah, you got all this open space like underneath the large UCS displays, like that's all open for the taking. Plus I still have to repair Vader. What's going on? He looks like he went through a pretty harsh battle there. His cape and his two arms are just off to the side. That doesn't look too good. The Star Wars displays, they look pretty good. They look pretty full, to be honest with you. But there's a nice open spot right there for a shelf, I guess. And I've been meaning to repair the AT-AT Walker, the UCS one, since I placed it there like months and months ago. But not only are we going to be working on these shelving rooms, we're also going to work on some new display space that I recently created. And that is upstairs here, where of course I've left a mess because I was working on the Lego City and I sort of left in a rush. That's pretty standard in the studio, I would say. But I want to refresh the displays up here on top of the parts. And then I also want to refresh these displays as well, just because I threw those sets on there and I don't know if that's going to be like permanent, you know, like is the Black Seas Barracuda going to be there and the Cat D11 along with Vincent Van Gogh and the Dark Falcon and the Milano and some backlog? I don't know. I think we've got to change that up a little bit too. Also, I've got a new product here that's going to help me display a large percentage of my Speed Champions. Right now my Speed Champions are underneath the Lego Creator Expert and Technic vehicle displays, but eventually I'm going to need to expand the space for the vehicles because there's more coming out, such as that Lamborghini, which I don't have, the Lamborghini Countach, and eventually I'm going to have to free up some space. Plus I want to try and do something different involving Lego display cases, and I actually have a really cool display case for the Speed Champions cars, and that's what's right here, just waiting to be built. Before I do anything though, I've got to clean up my mess. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of recycling. Let's get it out of here. Here's my vehicle before. It's looking pretty good. And after, it feels pretty good to get that all loaded up. Now that was a great way to start the day. It wasn't a whole lot of fun, but hey, I can see my floor now, so that's good. In addition to that, I tidied up around the Lego City there. I had a whole bunch of stuff on the side there. It was like part bins and I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff, like a cart. And then I went into this room and I was like, you know what? I'm in a cleanup mood. I'm gonna clean up all my tools and consolidate them and then throw away more cardboard. So that's what I did, just to try and clean up this place. But now I'm excited about building this display cabinet for Speed Champions. Looks like quite the doozy to put together, I'll be quite honest with you. But I think it's gonna be fairly straightforward. Some pretty basic instructions there, and then I've got all these parts and the screws here, so peel off all this protective paper and then put it together. Maybe this is going to start something new here in the studio. Like maybe I need to get some more display cabinets and specifically put Lego sets in display cabinets on top of my parts. I think that would be super cool because it would provide a really cool backdrop. Some of these like display cabinets have like these crazy backdrops, whether it be for like Bar-Dur or I've seen the Disney Castle, it has like fireworks and stuff, so it would be pretty cool to take some of these big sets and put them up on top of my parts in display cabinets. I think that would sort of differentiate them from the rest, right? Be a pretty neat concept. Or maybe even the Titanic, which used to be here, but it's currently upstairs. This display case came really well packaged. Like there's all the bubble wrap, there's the box, and then every single piece of acrylic on both sides was covered with like this adhesive paper to protect it from scratching and fingerprints and all that. So before you start building this display case, you've got to peel all of that adhesive paper off. And that's like on every single component. You've got 24 of those, 15 of those, 5 shelves, 2 of the back plates, 2 side panels, the front panel. So there's like a lot of pieces. You can see all the pieces right here. Like there's a lot of them. So it took me 3 hours to peel off all the paper. I started at 11:30, it's now 2:38. 3 hours of peeling off all of this adhesive stuff. But to me, that just means that they did a good job because they don't want the stuff to arrive scratched, so it makes sense. But yeah, it took me 3 hours to peel it off, which is crazy. So I spent a lot of time building Lego or taking on repetitive tasks like that on my own here in the studio. Sometimes I'm here for like up to 10 hours all on my own. So recently I decided to head out to Costco and buy some new over-the-ear headphones. These are like Sony headphones. They're sick. They're like some of the top headphones. And I think that's an important thing to have because I like to listen to audiobooks when I'm here, just because music gets a little bit boring and audiobooks sort of keep you entertained. And this was an essential purchase. I used to use earbuds for listening to my audiobooks, but I find earbuds are almost like earplugs. When you have like earplugs in or earbuds in, when you're like moving around or you're like chewing, you can almost like hear your body in your head. It's like a pressure in your head. It is not comfortable at all, especially when you're listening to something for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, right? It just becomes very uncomfortable. So I think that was a swift purchase right there. It was either the Sony or the Bose. I couldn't make up my mind, but I read some reviews and looked at the price, and I thought the Sony ones were pretty sweet. So I've got some unfortunate news in regards to the Speed Champions display. I'm not going to be able to proceed putting that together. Not from a lack of will, but just due to a technicality with one of the key elements. One of the key elements is not cut perfectly, and the acrylic can't slide into the side. It's like the side panel of the cabinet doesn't fit perfectly into the side, which is unfortunate. I'm sure they're going to fix that problem. But yeah, that's going to pause production on that. It's unfortunate because I was really excited about building a new Speed Champions display, but it is what it is. That'll have to wait for another day, and we still got lots of other stuff to do here in the studio, such as eat lunch. While I was nourishing myself, I was actually just walking around, looking at all these awesome Lego sets. And I was thinking to myself, how am I going to do this? How am I going to bring a bunch of sets up there and keep this presentable as well? I don't think I'm able to do that because I simply don't have enough Lego built right now. But the reality is I spend way more time up there than I do in this room. So I think I'm about to do something pretty aggressive. So here's what this place looks like before the changes. We've got some sets here, as you saw earlier, my backlog just laying on the floor. That was in my car prior to all the cardboard being in the car there, along with some more backlog, which is among my top priorities. I swear I'm going to build that stuff ASAP because we've got so much shelving space. And then over here we've got some pretty epic sets, but most of these sets are actually going to go back in the city, like the Ninjago temples and the observatory. One of my favorite sets is up here, which is awesome. This doesn't really belong up here at all just because it needs to be remade and go back into the Lego City as well. And then I've got a giant mess. So this is what we're looking at right now before the aggressive changes that I'm about to make. Let's start by having a look at the sets that I decided to put on the shelves. So first off, we've got the Silent Mary. I think this set is so cool. Comes with some really nice minifigures and some crazy sharks. Then we have Metalbeard Sea Cow from the Lego movie. Yes, excellent. Also comes with a double-decker couch. And once again, some great minifigures. Now this is the Black Seas Barracuda. I could make it the Pirates of Barracuda Bay. I do have the parts for that somewhere in here. Yeah, right here. So I could convert it back to the Pirates of Barracuda Bay, which might look pretty cool, like in the medieval area. That's a thought. Also, I brought Stranger Things the Upside Down over here. It's on the, or it was on the top shelf in one of the shelving rooms. Never really got to see it up close, and I just wanted it to be present right here. I think that's so cool. It does need a little bit of a dusting though. Okay, this took me a long time, so I didn't get a chance to dust everything. Everyone asked me, how do you keep all your Lego dust free? I laugh at that. It's not all dust free. I just don't film in 4K, that's why. That's why you can't see the dust. Then we got the newer Disney castle with all the minifigures. I love this Disney castle. It is fabulous. And that's right beside The Hogwarts castle, love this castle as well. And included in the minifigures of the Hogwarts castle, I also decided to place all the minifigures from the Gringotts Bank, just because there's so many great figs, may as well keep them all together. And then we have the Tower of Orthanc. Yeah, I was actually listening to the Fellowship of the Ring on Audible as I was making all these changes. So when I was moving these, it's like, oh, this is cool. So we've got the Tower of Orthanc minifigures and also all of the Helm's Deep minifigures as well. The set itself isn't very good, doesn't display well like the Tower of Orthanc and also Barad-dûr. Epic minifigures there as well. And just a great looking set. They just look fantastic beside each other. And same with Rivendell. Yeah, I got to keep all three of those together. You can see a trend here. Pretty much all the taller stuff from downstairs has made its way on top of the parts here just because it presents so well. I had to keep one of my favorite sets here. That's the Titanic. Epic. And I think the Titanic looks great beside the globe. So there you go. That's what the top of my parts looks like now. So much better. Now I can enjoy these sets. But with that said, I had to remove them from downstairs. I also did some stuff down there as well, shifted some stuff, placed some stuff, and just sort of made it look presentable. I also tidied up my cars here as well. So that looks pretty sweet. You know, I sort of do like the Speed Champions here, but I do want to get that case built. Still want to get that. I think it would look really cool. I think it can host like 24 cars or something like that. Then I decided to place the stuff that has to go back in the city up top here, along with some other miscellaneous items. Eventually those shelves will be opened up once I further develop the city. So that looks cool. Also, the shelves behind me have been redone. This one is still a hoard of stuff. I need to put this stuff away. Need to clean up my back room a little bit better and then get that stuff put into the little, I call it the back room, but my little storage room will eventually consume all that stuff there. And also eventually I'm going to be getting rid of these parts here as well. Eventually I'll get that all sorted out and we'll free up that shelf. This shelf did not change, but I'm really happy with this change right here. Brought the giant Hogwarts Express up here. I think that looks great. Really pleased with that. Down here we've got Jaws. And also this little pirate ship. Figured I brought the other ships up here. I may as well bring this one up as well. And then I figured I brought this big, beautiful train up here. So I may as well bring another big, beautiful train up here as well. And that's the Orient Express. And then we've got the helicarrier. You got to have this one low. That's how you can actually see the details of it because it doesn't look good when you're looking up at it. So I always try to keep it on a lower shelf. So I think that looks pretty cool. And then I figured I may as well put the overpriced little miniature version of it right beside it. Didn't move the Concorde. I think that was a good spot for it because once again, you got to sort of look down at these sets to appreciate it. And this shelf is long enough. Like this shelf is almost 4 feet. So it can accommodate these massive, long sets, which is good. Put these two little planes beside it. I don't know what I'm going to do with those, but figured why not just fill that empty space there with some more planes. Condensed all those sets there, and then I put two instruments here. So we've got the grand piano and also the Fender guitar. I realized that I didn't have these lights on. That's probably why it's a little bit darker than it should be in this shot. Sorry about that. Not going to refilm it though. And here is the end result. I think that looks fantastic. Really happy that all of these amazing sets are now in my place of work. Like this is where I spend so much time sorting, building, editing. May as well look at all these amazing sets. I love it. Here we go. I filmed a time lapse of this process as well, so you can see me just adjusting everything and slowly but surely bringing those sets up from downstairs. And I just love the fact that they're on top of the parts. Yeah, that looks so cool. And pretty much the same thing over here, just sort of looked at it, determined what was going to work in the space, what I wanted to look at, and of course these sets could be cycled out as well. One thing I forgot to mention in this video, and since we're on the topic I may as well mention it again, is the fact that I want to replace this wood. I mentioned that way back in the day when I originally built this, but this is like the 3/4 inch stuff, and it's sort of like scrap 16-inch shelving that I had in my garage, and it's like sort of dirty, it's chipped. It's not cut properly. I've had it in lots of different displays. It's just been like beat up big time. So I need to replace all that. And I'm not gonna get the 3/4 inch stuff. This stuff is way too thick. I'm just gonna get the 5/8 stuff, which is this right here. And it's literally the shelving, which is 16 inches by 8 feet. And I think they're like $15 per sheet. So what do I need? Like 3 of them, probably. That's it. So eventually I'll replace that. And another thing that I want to do actually is get more of these. Yeah, I want to get more of these. And I want to expand it so that they go right to the end, because this is a different brand. These are the original Bella drawers. I don't know, some sort of random brand that I had way back in the day. So I want to replace these and make the stacks the same height and have it go right to the wall and then extend the shelving all the way across. And then I may as well do that over here as well. Like, may as well get rid of these, not get rid of them, but whatever, use them elsewhere. Get rid of these ones here, keep it the same and consistent, and have it go all the way across. Like, I've gone this far, I may as well, you know, finish the product, finish the package, and then we'll literally have a wall of parts, one consistent wall stretching all the way across with the shelving on top and with epic sets on top. And I think it'll just make it look way better than it already does. So yeah, that's definitely something that I've got to do in the near future, I guess. All right, let's go check out downstairs. Oh, I've got to clear the air about something as well here, folks. When I'm moving around up there, you might hear some funny noises. I promise you that that is the floor creaking beneath my feet, all right? It's not me. I swear. Oh, okay, so yesterday I was working on the gravel road in the creek. And honestly, when I was done building it and I was rewatching the video at home, I was thinking to myself, oh no, you know what I've done here? I've sort of continued my grid, and I made some harsh right angles on the corners here. But I will say that when I build this creek and this gravel road, I'm gonna try and modify this. Like, I'll fill this in with black plate, add more wedge plates and stuff like that to give this a more interesting shape, and try and break this right angle. It's sort of a grid here because I was trying to save as much space for the massive train yard that I'm gonna put here. And I guess it sort of busts out at a right angle there. I did try to make this a little bit swervy, but I know for sure that I'm gonna be adding a straight up angled road here. This is gonna go straight, and there will be an angled road going this way toward that right there. So there will be an angled road there. I know that for sure, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna try and break some of these harsh angles and try and break the grid a little bit too when I actually get around to further developing this. Want it to be more swervy and a little more natural, you know? So yeah, I was thinking about that like right when I was on my way home, actually, when I was driving home, and then when I was rewatching and editing at home, I was like, oh wow, I need to try and get away from that grid. So yeah, just note that that is part of the plans. So here we go, we got the Star Wars room. First off, I'm pretty proud of myself. Oh yeah, it's repaired. The AT-AT is back up and operational. Yes, I feel like I neglected that for too long, that's for sure. Added these silly little droids up here. Pretty cool build. I like the R2-D2 on its own. I get the customization feel of it. I guess it's pretty cool. It'd be fun for kids. And I do like the mini builds of all the accessories and stuff. That was pretty interesting. And the way that they all come apart, they're sort of like modular, which is pretty neat. And then you get that exclusive minifigure in there. So it's pretty cool. Beyond that, I added the Dark Falcon right here. The Dark Falcon's so cool. Comes with the black color scheme, black and red, which is pretty neat. And then all of the fantastic minifigures, and there's all sorts of Easter eggs within. And the way that it opens up is pretty cool too. So yeah, there's all sorts of cool like Easter eggs in here. And it's pretty neat, I will say. Pretty cool set. Yeah. The minifigs are pretty cool. Like, look at this. Beach Luke and Vader. Dark Rey and Darth Jar Jar and C-3PO. I put it right beside this set too, which is pretty funny. Yeah, pretty cool. Then we've got all the dioramas below, and then another new set which I placed today was this one here, the X-Wing TIE Fighter mashup, So there you go. That's the 2 new Star Wars sets. Was there another one that I placed? I don't think so. I think that's all the new ones. No other changes to this display area other than Darth Vader. He has been repaired. There you go. He's standing upright and his arms are back in place and his cape has been reattached, so that's good. This cabinet here is pretty much barren now because the Barad-dûr and the Tower of Orthanc used to be on the top shelf there. This whole cabinet is open for the taking, so we got lots of room for expansion. And then I still got these side panels here, so I can still do something custom here. Maybe like a smaller Billy, like one of these. And one on either side, and then like a floating shelf over the door. That might be pretty cool. And then in here, I spread some of the stuff out. So I put all the new Marvel stuff right there, sort of matched up with that stuff. And then I put the Guardians of the Galaxy ship and also the Milano right there. Sort of check them out side by side. This one is open for the taking now because the Titanic used to be on these cabinets, and same with the Concorde jet. And then I spread out, I didn't spread it out, but I brought it down from the top shelf, the Disney 100 camera, the Walt Disney tribute beside Mickey and Minnie there. Thought that made sense. They used to be up there. In fact, that whole shelf is now empty. And then I shifted over the Disney stuff. Sorry, not Disney, the video game stuff right here, and that's below the Viking sets that have been spread out a little bit. So yeah, we got lots of room for expansion in here, which is good. And then the Orient Express used to be up there, and I still need to rebuild those brickhead displays. So despite hauling all those sets out of here, I still think that this shelving room looks pretty decent. And then we've got these 2 cabinets pretty much wide open, so a bunch of space for some humongous sets. And the Star Wars room, pretty much unscathed as well, because I didn't bring anything Star Wars up there. In fact, I just removed the stuff that was non-Star Wars and brought it upstairs. So yeah, I think that sort of worked out. And I'm pretty happy with the end result, because now I can enjoy those awesome sets upstairs. Don't ask me how it's 7:20 already. Okay, that took a long time. Moving all that stuff back and forth and failing to build that Speed Champions display. Oh well, I feel like I got a lot accomplished, and thank you so much for coming on by. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Farewell.